There was a time when food was something we simply experienced. A comforting routine, a private joy, a language of care passed down through spice-stained recipe cards and memory. It wasn't curated, filtered, or meant to be consumed by thousands of strangers online. But in the age of social media, food isn't just something we eat anymore. It's something we display. And slowly, sometimes without realizing it, we start to wonder, is social media changing the way we love food? Maybe even dimming that love? To be fair, social media has done some genuinely beautiful things for how we connect with food. It's made recipes and culinary traditions from all over the world more accessible. We can now learn how to make dosas from an Indian grandmother whose hands move with the kind of ease only experience brings. Or discover the proper way to layer biryani from someone halfway across the world who's been doing it for generations. These videos preserve cultural memory. They give voice to home cooks, aunties, street vendors, people who glossy cookbooks and TV chefs have long overlooked. Beyond that, there's community. Micro-communities have blossomed where food meets identity. From queer food creators to Black vegan chefs, we're seeing more of ourselves in what we eat. Food becomes a form of storytelling, a celebration of heritage, a way to say, this is who I am. And let's not overlook the knowledge sharing. For many, social media is the modern-day cooking school. It's where people learn to pickle, knead, meal prep, plate beautifully, and eat more intuitively. It breaks down elitism around food and gives people tools to nourish themselves in ways that feel accessible and empowering. But then there's the other side, the quieter, less talked about consequences. One of the most subtle shifts is how we've started prioritizing how food looks over how it feels. The sensory joy of eating, flavors, textures, aromas, is often interrupted by the need to document. That sacred first bite is delayed for a well-framed shot, and suddenly the moment becomes about presentation, not presence. Food trends now move at dizzying speed. One week it's pink sauce, the next it's butterboards or matcha tiramisu. Social media encourages novelty over nourishment. And because content thrives on clicks, we often see exaggerated, hyper-aestheticized meals that may look stunning but don't reflect how most of us eat daily. And the reach is only growing. According to the International Food Information Council, IFIC, 41% of consumers said they interacted with food-related content on social media in the past year. Among Gen Z, that number jumps to a striking 71%. For many young people, food isn't just a part of social media. It's woven into how they experience and navigate daily life. The effect? A creeping sense that our own food isn't good enough to share, let alone savor. And then there's the deeper, more emotional disruption, the quiet guilt that comes with watching perfectly portioned, what I eat in a day videos or endless reels of pristine meal prep. It's not just about eating too much or too little, it's about not eating mindfully. Social media has, in many ways, aestheticized well-being. When food becomes a marker of success or self-worth, we lose the simple joy of eating intuitively, with kindness toward ourselves. That can take a toll. Not dramatically, all at once, but gently over time. The constant comparison, the feeling of falling short, the pressure to perform, even with something as fundamental as a meal. It chips away at how we care for ourselves. And when eating becomes another space where we feel not enough, it quietly touches our mental well-being too. Cultural dishes aren't spared either. Once traditional recipes go viral, they're often repackaged and stripped of context. Dishes that carry generations of history are reduced to trends, tried out for clout without care. It can feel like a subtle form of erasure, where heritage becomes content instead of a living story. This isn't just a hunch. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Research explored how cultural symbols and practices can be commodified when shared widely, often losing the meaning or care they were born from. When a deeply rooted dish is turned into content, the storytelling behind it often gets left behind. At its worst, social media creates a kind of disembodiment. We scroll through hundreds of meals, recipes, and cooking videos every day, visually overstimulated but physically detached. We're consuming food content constantly, but rarely engaging with our own appetites. We're hungry, but not always sure for what. A comprehensive review published in Frontiers in Psychology, titled How Digital Food Affects Our Analog Lives, expands on this idea. It suggests that food photography and sharing on digital platforms shapes not just behavior, but identity. The study outlines 3 levels of participation: private, public, and professional, that all influence how we form social norms around eating. Whether we're sharing a meal quietly, broadcasting it online, or running a food account, each layer plays a role in how we relate to food and to ourselves. So no, social media hasn't destroyed our love for food, but it has reshaped it, sometimes in beautiful, liberating ways, and other times in ways that leave us feeling disconnected, performative, or quietly depleted. The real challenge now is finding our way back to the table. Not the digital one, the real one. The one where food doesn't have to be photogenic to be meaningful. Where the joy of cooking lies in the sizzle of a pan, not the number of views it might get. Where we eat with our hands, messily, gratefully, without thinking of the camera. Because at the end of the day, food is one of the last human joys that asks nothing of us except presence. It nourishes more than our bodies. It anchors our mood, our memory, our sense of self. And we deserve to protect that. Let's not let the algorithm take that away.